Thank you for joining us for the November Community Connection. I'm Brian Strand. Do you need a little financial help fixing up or maintaining your home? It's time to start planning for your 2023 remodeling projects.
Believe it or not, now is a great time to plan ahead for your 2023 home improvement projects. Applications for the Senior Deferred Loan Program and the Front Door Grant are expected to be available in January. To make sure you're ready when application windows open, get started today. First, you can prepare a list of possible projects. If you need help prioritizing, schedule a discounted visit with the Home Energy Squad or sign up for a free home visit from Fridley's Remodeling Advisor Service. Then, contract professional contractors to bid the work, or if you're planning to do it yourself, prepare your materials list and an implementation timeline. It's important to note that some contractors, particularly for outdoor work or landscaping projects, they're not able to give an accurate price estimate when the ground is covered in snow. You can ask friends and neighbors for advice on finding a contractor, and if your neighbors are considering similar work, your contractor may even offer a discount for multiple projects in the same area. The City of Fridley cannot provide recommendations. Once you have an idea of project costs, you can develop a financing plan. Again, applications for Fridley's Senior Deferred Loan Program and Front Door Grants are expected to be available in January. Fridley's low-interest 2% loans are available year-round. And your final step is to research permit requirements. Many types of property improvements require a permit and city inspection in order to ensure that work has been completed safely. Permits typically have a timeline for work to be completed, so wait until it's soon time to begin before submitting your application. If a contractor is performing the work, they will typically be the one to apply for required permits. However, the property owner is ultimately responsible. And there you have it. With a little advanced planning, you'll be ready to hit the ground running in spring. For more information about any of these programs, you can visit fridleymn.gov/home programs or give me a call at 763-572-3593. First-time homebuyers who are purchasing a property in Fridley could receive up to $5,000 of down payment assistance. The money is provided in the form of a no-interest deferred loan, which means no repayment is needed until the property is sold, refinanced, or no longer owner-occupied. For the program, there is an income limit of 110% of household area median income. For applications processed in 2022, that's just over $115,000 for a family of 4. If you or someone you know is interested, apply today. In order to ensure funding, applications must be submitted at least 4 weeks before closing. Go to fridleymn.gov/home programs to learn more.
The Fridley Park System Improvement Plan is really beginning to take off. In 2023, we will see an overhaul at 4 parks, including Moore Lake Beach.
Hi, I'm Mike Mayer, Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Fridley. In 2022, we launched our Park System Improvement Plan. This plan has been in the works for several years, where we've worked with a consultant to come up with recommendations for each of the city's 38 city parks. We've done this through a tremendous amount of community engagement. We've had public meetings, town halls, we've met residents out in parks, done online surveys, and had hundreds of conversations between staff and residents to come up with a plan that meets the needs of Fridley residents. What we've heard is that you want to have improved playgrounds, places to gather, increased connectivity between our parks, and to build a sense of civic pride through an improved park system. In 2022, we've wrapped up our community engagement for the first 4 parks that will be improved through this $30 million plan. Moore Lake, Skyline Park, Ed Wilms Park, and Creekview Park are the first 4 parks that will be improved, seeing construction starting in 2023. Moore Lake is a community park that really impacts and is used throughout our community. So that's the largest of these first 4 parks that will be improved. Moore Lake Park will be significantly improved through a community building, new playground, improved trails, shoreline access. We've heard that residents want to be able to do recreation on the water, things like fishing, paddleboarding, kayaking, and canoeing. So we're working all of those things into the plan. Back in September, we had a community event at Moore Lake Park where we had about 250 residents show up to connect with about 20 staff members. And we had a number of different playground concepts available. We had an updated site plan, information on a roundabout project that will be happening at the entrance to this park. And through that process, we were able to make some refinements to the plan and select a playground concept that it seemed residents were very excited about. So we'll be starting that construction in 2023 and expect Moore Lake Park to be closed for most of the season in 2023. So that will impact some of our shelter reservations and park use there. So we appreciate the community's patience, but we're sure that you'll be happy and excited for the plans. Just to talk a little bit more about the plans for Moore Lake, we do have a community building that'll be the primary improvement that will be seen in that park. So we've got a great team of city staff that's heard from residents what you'd like to see, and we're working to implement that plan. This community building will have reservable space that anybody in the community can rent for parties, events, different functions, meetings. And so we're very excited to be working on that project for you. I'm sure you'll be extremely excited about the improvements coming to Moore Lake and the rest of our city parks in 2023 and beyond. For more information, you can find the complete park system improvement plan, construction updates, and many other things, many other details on the park system plan on the City of Fridley website. So please stay tuned to that for the latest updates, and thanks for your support of Fridley's Parks.
Fridley's winter parking and snow removal ordinance began on November 1st, and it runs through April 1st.
Winter parking restrictions start November 1st and run through April 1st. This means that there's no parking on city streets from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. or during or immediately after a snowstorm. By removing our cars from city streets, it allows us to help our plow drivers more efficiently and safely plow our roads. It also allows for emergency vehicles to reach their destinations sooner. If your vehicle is not removed, it will be ticketed and towed. For more information, visit the City of Fridley website. We thank you for your cooperation.
This winter, it's important to make sure that you keep all fire hydrants clear. When we show up at a fire and we have to use the hydrant, it takes us a long time to remove all the snow away from the hydrant. And remember, a fire doubles in size every minute, so every second counts. How you can help us is to clear out the hydrant, but then to make sure it's clear 3 feet all the way around the hydrant and all the way to the street. That way we'll be able to find it quickly, and we'll also be able to hook up and get water on the fire to protect you and your home as fast as possible.
November begins the holiday cooking season. Please, safety first in your kitchen.
Hi, I'm James Lang, Fire Marshal with Fridley Fire Department, and with the holiday season rapidly approaching, we want to talk with you a little bit about some kitchen safety, kitchen fire safety. So to begin with, in your kitchen you want to make sure that wherever your stovetop is, that you have a 3-foot area that's clear of any combustible items. So things like paper towel, boxes, we just want to keep those removed inside your kitchen. You also want to have a 3-foot area that's a kid-free zone so that your children know to stay away from the cooktop when it's hot and the oven when it's cooking so nobody gets hurt. Another thing we want to talk about is that if you do have a fire, what do you do in the event of a fire? So if you have a fire on the stove, grease fire, the last thing we want to do is put water in it. So the easiest thing to do is with an oven mitt, go ahead and get a lid and just put a lid over that. No, don't go over the top like this, just slide it on so that you don't get burned by anything that's any of the heater flames coming off the pot. So you just slide that right in there, and that'll put the fire out, then call the fire department. Another thing that we can do that can help you if you have a fire is if you purchase these stovetop fire stop devices, they just go right on top of the hood system, and if you have a fire, there's a dry chemical inside that'll be released, and that'll fall down onto your fire and extinguish it. Finally, another great idea is to use a timer. So anytime that you are cooking, one of the major causes for cooking fires is unattentive cooking. So somebody starts cooking something and then they walk away. If you have a timer set and you're in the kitchen doing something else and you get distracted, the timer will go off and alert you to that you need to return to the kitchen or over to the cooktop and make sure that you finish cooking what you're making. Most importantly, if you do have a fire, the most important thing for you to do is to call 911. Get us started early so that we can get there and get the fire out for you and get everybody out of your house so that everybody has a safe and happy holiday.
You can assist the Coon Creek Watershed District by volunteering to test for chloride in streams and other water bodies this winter.
I'm Britta Dornfeld with the Coon Creek Watershed District, and I'm here at Springbrook Creek. In 2019, the Watershed District did a study of water bodies throughout the district in the winter to find out what the levels of chlorides were in them. Springbrook Creek was one of the creeks we identified as having too high of a level of chloride. Chloride pollution is a growing problem in Minnesota, and in the metro, a lot of our chloride pollution comes from winter de-icing salts. We're now trying to find out if there's chloride hotspots throughout the district that we can target for salt use optimization projects. That's where you all come in. In 2019, we started a citizen chloride monitoring project where local residents can go out and sample either a local water body or just their curbside a few times throughout the winter to figure out what the level of chlorides are in their water. That data then goes to the Water Reporter app, and we've actually partnered with the Isaac Walton League's Winter Salt Watch program to collect that data. So it not only comes to us, but also goes to a national database that looks at the problem of chloride pollution. If you're interested in participating in the program, please contact me, Britta Dornfeld, at 763-258-7305 or at bdornfeld@cooncreekwd.org. Let me know you're interested in the program and tell me a good address that I can send a chloride monitoring kit to. If you become part of our chloride monitoring program, the chloride kit that you receive will have 3 parts. It will have a bag with chloride test strips in it, a postcard that has a conversion chart on one side and sampling instructions on the other side, and a piece of paper that details different reporting instructions. To sample, you'll want to select a nearby water body or just your local curbside, whichever is safest for you. You want to wait until we've had a few snows throughout the winter to start sampling. When you're sampling, a good time to go out and sample the water is either during a period of melting or after a winter rainfall. Once you've selected the water body you're going to sample from, and it's a good time to sample, take a cup or a glass down to the water. Before you sample, you'll want to rinse out your cup with the water you're sampling 3 times. Once you're completely rinsed, fill your cup up with only about 1 inch of water, so that's about a knuckle of water, because you don't want too much water as your test strip cannot be completely submerged. Then take your test strip, put it in the water, and wait. Once you've put your strip in the water, you'll need to wait until it's completely calibrated. You can tell that this strip is completely calibrated because the top line on it has turned a navy blue. Compare it to this uncalibrated test strip where the top line is still light yellow. Once your test strip is completely calibrated, which can take up to 10 minutes, you can take it out and put it on your postcard next to the conversion chart. And then you're ready to report. Take a picture of your postcard, including the conversion chart and the strip, and upload that picture to the Water Reporter app. When you make your new post, make sure to include hashtag SaltWatch and hashtag CCWD in the comments of your post, and make sure that the location is where you sampled. Then you're done. This can be a lot to remember, but don't worry. The back of this postcard has instructions on how to sample, and the kit also has instructions on how to report. As always, if you have any questions, also feel free to contact me. Even if you're not part of our chloride monitoring program, there are a few simple steps we all can take to reduce our salt use. You can remember these with the 4 S's: shovel, select, scatter, and sweep. Shovel just refers to removing as much snow manually as possible before you use a salting product. If you have a stubborn piece of ice that you can't get rid of manually, the next thing to do is to make sure that you're selecting the correct salting product for the temperatures. I have here some common rock salt. This is actually only effective at temperatures above 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's for the pavement, not for the air temperature. There are some salt products that work at lower temperatures. However, if it's too cold, consider using sand instead. It doesn't provide melting, but it does provide traction. The next idea is to scatter. So if you've selected the correct product for the temperatures and it's warm enough to use salt, make sure that you're scattering those grains widely, leaving about 3 inches of space in between each salt grain to maximize melting. Finally, if you have some salt left over when all of your ice is melted, sweep it up and reuse it. You should also sweep up and reuse sand. However, don't mix salt and sand together because they cancel each other out. If you don't do your own winter maintenance, consider using a Smart Salting certified contractor to do your winter maintenance work. You can find a list of these contractors on the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency's website. Thank you all for doing your part to continue to maintain public safety while reducing your salt use.
Fridley is a heart-safe community. But what does that mean? And how can you get involved?
Hi everyone, I'm Nico Wallet. This is Patrick Faber. We are both police officers with the City of Fridley, and we are going to run you through a very quick heart-safe version of hands-only CPR. The City of Fridley was designated a heart-safe community a few years back, and what our job is to maintain that heart-safe designation is to teach as many people as we can hands-only CPR. That's CPR with just compressions, no breath giving or anything else. So Patrick here is going to demonstrate while I explain how to do hands-only CPR. The first thing that you're going to want to do when you are getting ready to render care to someone is you're going to want to make sure that 911 is called. That's the first link in the chain of survival, is to make sure that emergency services are on their way. Once that's been done, Officer Faber here is going to come up to the patient. He's going to check for any kind of responsiveness. Usually he'll do that by tapping and asking them a question. Hey, are you okay? Is there anything that I can do for you? This person's not going to respond. Once he realizes that there's no signs of life, there's no breathing, he's going to put his hands in the middle of the patient's chest bone right there, right above right in the center of the rib cage. You kind of make a cross down here and a cross. Right in between the nipple line is where you're going to want to put your hands. So right here. Officer Patrick is then going to use the heel of his hand, and he's going to put the heel of his hand right in the center of the chest there, other hand on top. You can interlace your hands, or you can keep your hands on top of each other. It doesn't matter, whatever's most comfortable for you. From there, what he's going to do is he's going to start compressions. He's going to make sure that his elbows are locked. And he's going to go half the distance of the chest. So what that means is, depending on the person's size, you want to go half of their size when you're pushing onto the chest. So for a child, you're going to use very little downward force, but for a full-grown man, you're going to have to go half of what their chest size is. When you're doing compressions, you're going to want to make sure that you're doing about 100 compressions a minute, or you can use the song Staying Alive as a way to keep record of how many compressions you're doing. What Officer Patrick is doing right now by doing the compressions is he is forcing oxygen-rich blood from the person's heart up into their brain, and that is keeping the brain vital and full of oxygen so that he doesn't sustain any reoccurring brain damage. Once the oxygen-rich blood is going through the body, that buys us some time as first responders to respond to the scene and to enact further emergency care.
For more information, visit fridley-mn.gov/134/heart-safe-fridley or by emailing heartsafe@fridleymn.gov. When in-person trainings resumes, it will be posted online and on the Fridley Police social media sites.
Hey everyone, I'm Officer Sean Murphy with the Fridley Police Department, and I'm excited to come to all of you and announce the beginning of the 2022-2023 Fridley Police Explorer year. We run the Fridley Police Explorer program here at the Fridley Police Department for high school students within the community that are interested in coming in and learning about law enforcement. Throughout the academic school year, which runs from about September until May, explorers are able to come in and train side by side with police officers from the Fridley Police Department and learn about a variety of different law enforcement scenarios. Those scenarios include domestic assault, bomb scene search, hostage negotiation, and much, much more. Explorers are then able to travel down to Rochester, Minnesota at the end of the year, at the end of April, and compete against police explorer posts from across the state in those different topics or scenarios that they are taught by the police officers during the academic year. We're actively recruiting for the program right now. If you know a teen that's interested in this program, please have them reach out to me at phone 763-238-7805 or by email sean.murphy@fridleymn.gov. Have a great day, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing all of you.
Well, that's it for this month's Community Connection. Be sure to subscribe to email updates and follow the City of Fridley on Facebook, Nextdoor, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I'm Brian Strand, and thank you for watching Fridley Municipal Television. This has been a production of Fridley Municipal Television. Thanks for watching.